Hello everybody and welcome back to Mr. Miller's Art Room. Today we are going to be working on part 5 of our color theory assignment, and this is the 4-color scheme, otherwise known as color plan artwork. What we did before was we divided our piece of paper into 4 sections, and in each section we had a series of simple but repeated shapes. Now this drawing is different than the last one I had. Unfortunately, I left it at another school that I work at. However, it's good that we're starting here because I'm going to get to show you step by step what we're looking to try to do. The last time we were together, we talked about primary, secondary, complementary or opposite, and analogous or neighbor color schemes. Now, there are a lot of different kinds of color schemes, but those are the 4 that we're focusing on today. What we're going to do is in each section will display a different color scheme, one of the 4 color schemes, hence, that's why we have 4 different sections. The first color scheme that we're going to work on is going to be our primary color schemes. The primary colors are the colors that we need in order to make every single other color in the rainbow. These are the first colors that you use. In a primary color scheme, the only colors that we're going to utilize in the shapes that we have are just red, yellow, and blue, and not to mix together, but to have them sit side by side. You might put the primary color scheme in this section. Secondary colors come from the primary colors, or the first colors. If we mix red and yellow, we get orange. And if we mix yellow and blue together, we wind up with green. And if we mix red and blue together, we wind up with the color purple, or sometimes called violet. So in a secondary color scheme, the only colors that we use are the secondary colors in each of those shapes. Not to mix together, but to sit next to each other. The third one we talked about were complementary or opposite color scheme. In this case, it's a little bit different. In a complementary color scheme, you would choose one of these 3 complementary color sets. Red and green are opposites, blue and orange are opposites, and yellow and purple are opposites.
Well, what makes them opposite, Mr. Miller?
What makes them opposites is that they're literally on opposing or opposite sides of each other on the color wheel. Now, there's a scientific experiment I can show you that proves this to be true, but we're just going to take our word for it here. You'll notice that if I drew a straight line from red to green, they're across each other on the color wheel. And from blue to orange, those are also across from each other on the color wheel. And likewise, from yellow to violet, or otherwise known as purple, those are also across from each other on the color wheel. You can look at the color wheel to discover this, or we can use this very easy chart to understand this. So in one section, our third section of our artwork, we'd utilize a complementary color scheme. Now you don't want to use all 3. I would like you to just choose either set 1, red and green, set 2, blue and orange, or set 3, yellow and violet. Analogous color schemes require that we fill in this level 1 color wheel that only has the 6 colors of the rainbow and really look at those tertiary or in-between colors. As the red gets closer to the orange becomes reddish orange. And as the orange gets closer to the orange becomes yellowish orange. And as the yellow gets closer to the green becomes yellowish green. As the green gets closer to the blue becomes bluish green. As the blue gets closer to the purple, it becomes bluish purple. And as the purple gets closer to the purple becomes reddish purple. So the analogous color sets, we're just going to do 3 of them. So what you do is you choose a color, and then you look at its 2 closest neighbors next to it. So if I chose red, my 2 analogous colors would be reddish orange and reddish purple, just like so. If I chose yellow, my 2 closest neighbors here would be yellowish orange and yellow green,
just like so.
If I chose blue, then my 2 analogous neighbors would be blue-green and blue-purple, as you can see down here. Likewise, if we started with the secondary colors, if I chose orange, my 2 closest neighbors would be red-orange and yellow-orange, as you can see here. If I chose green, my 2 closest neighbors would be
yellow-green, and blue-green.
Correct. Just like this set right here. And finally, if I chose purple, then my two analogous neighbor colors would be reddish purple and bluish purple, as you can see here. So we're just going to label these set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So in our 4 color scheme artwork, the last one would be an analogous color set. Now you wouldn't do all of these, you'd choose one of these sets. As long as the colors are next to each other on the color wheel, it would all work out, but each shape would be just one of these colors from one of these color sets. You might choose 4 or 5 or 6 or what have you. So in the primary section, only colors that we're going to use to color the shapes are going to be red, yellow, and blue, just like this. Now there might be some situations where the colors are sitting next to each other. Because we only have 3 colors, we have some limited choices to make. So see how these 3 shapes have all 3 yellow in there? That's okay, that's going to happen. But the real important thing is that we stuck to our primary color scheme. The next color scheme in this next section is going to be a secondary color scheme. So the only colors I utilized are orange, green, and purple. And so the way that you organize it is up to you. I created all of these heart shapes, but I also noticed that there was a lot of negative space. So I decided to color the negative space green and then do a series of orange and purple hearts. The third set would be a complementary color or opposite color set. So the very last one is that we're going to be utilizing analogous or neighbor colors in this section. So essentially you could choose from the color wheel a color and the 2 colors next to it, but I came up with a simple little form right here with 6 different choices you can choose from. And I just so happen to choose number 2, which is yellow, yellow-green, and yellow-orange, which are right next to each other or analogous colors on the color wheel. And there you have it. Remember that you want to color each section of the shape a different color if you can, though it's okay if some of the same colors touch the same shapes. So, for Mr. Monocle and I, we say good day.
We said good day.